It was on October 31st of 1963, 50 years ago, that President John F. Kennedy signed the Community Mental Health Act, authorizing more than $300 million for mental health programs. The Kennedy Forum, a mental health advocacy group, marked the anniversary with a gala last night. It was in Boston. In attendance, Vice President Joe Biden, and here's part of what he had to say.
It is time to approach and explore in ways we haven't done before. It's time, for the first time, to map the only uncharted territory on Earth, truly uncharted territory, to map the human brain. In the year 2013, the brain is the new frontier.
Also speaking at that event was Chicago Bears wide receiver Brandon Marshall. Marshall was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder, and he's become an outspoken advocate for mental health. Brandon Marshall is joining us now. It's nice to visit with you, Brandon. First thing off the bat is I'm a diehard Bears fan, so we'll talk about the Packers in 10 days in a second. Yeah. But if I can ask you about the topic at hand today, is in the world of mental health awareness, this event that you've been a part of is described as sort of the Super Bowl. Why was last night's gala, this gathering, so critical for the mental health community?
You know what? It's something about a community. When you look at the definition of the word, it's really a group of people, no matter if it's big or small, that have some of the same belief system and fighting for the same thing. So what's going on in our country, it's time for us to stand together and really get things done. You know, it's kind of ironic that, you know, we celebrated, you know, the last piece of legislation signed by our president, President Kennedy, you know, over 50 years ago, and it's still a taboo topic. So it's time to take it to an everyday conversation.
Well, so let me ask you about that in the effort to make it an everyday conversation. How do you define what the goal is? I mean, what would you define as success? If we had this conversation 5 years from now, what do you hope would be different?
Well, the stage that we're in, you know, our foundation, the Brandon Marshall Foundation, launched a few years ago, but really starting to get going. You know, we're in the stage of, you know, just advocating and spreading the word and creating conversation. So I would say 5 years from now, I would look back and say success if we're not afraid to talk about it anymore in the workplace, in our marriages, in our school systems, in government. So I think that's where we start. You know, when you look at where we're at right now, nobody wants to talk about it. It's still highly stigmatized. And if we can take it from that to a conversation that is comfortable, I think we'll be headed down the right road.
During a game earlier this month, and I'm not going to ask you about last Sunday because we're still struggling with what happened there on the field, but you wore green shoes. We have them on the screen right now in honor of Mental Health Awareness Week. You were fined more than $10,000, I think it was, by the NFL for what they describe as a uniform violation. I mean, you viewed this as sort of a good thing because you were able to bring attention to it. Were you surprised by the reaction? No, I mean,
like I always say, you know, football is my platform, not my purpose. So that was an amazing arena to be in, an amazing platform, playing in front of a few million people, and to be out there and, you know, to have the chance to create conversation, create dialogue was amazing. You know, I was fined $10,500, but that's nothing compared to the conversation and awareness raised that night. You know, a company out of San Francisco ran some numbers for us, and we got over $100,000 worth of coverage and people talking about it. So
as you tweeted,
it was a success.
You tweeted, "Football is my platform, not my purpose." I want to ask you a little bit about this personal experience for you, if I can. Talk to us, if you would, Brandon, about your personal journey, why you came forward to talk about your own public struggle, especially as someone who works, plays the game of football, where you're surrounded by such machismo. This would seem like something that most people would kind of keep within.
Yeah, I mean, we're pretty much institutionalized to be tough. To shake it off, not talk about, you know, pain or struggles, and I think that's probably one of the main causes of some of our struggles, you know, in our personal lives. For me, you know, the disorder presented itself a few years ago, and it just started getting out of control where I couldn't handle it anymore. And it wasn't until I was in McLean Hospital and I was in group therapy with a doctor, an attorney, even a clinician. And here I am, you know, a big shot football player, and we're all sitting here, you know, talking about our struggles and things that's going on in our lives. And I'm sitting here listening to some people who are suicidal or self-harming themselves. And what was scary was we all got up, went into the parking lot, and went into society like we were normal human beings or everything was okay. And I started to think, like, how many more people are out there that are suffering but doesn't have the resources or are afraid to talk about it. And that's why we launched our foundation. And right now, you know, we need help. You know, we're looking to partner with government. We're looking to partner with corporations. You know, we need people on our board to really have the expertise to take us from where we're at today to be the preeminent foundation devoted to mental health.
And Brandon, I was really struck by what Dr. Jeffrey Lieberman said. He's the president of the American Psychiatric Association. This is what he had to say about your role in mental health awareness. We'll put it on the screen for folks to read along. He said, this is somebody whose profession is based on machismo, being courageous and fearless, and to acknowledge they have some psychological vulnerability, which is the reality, is really extraordinarily heroic. Given the nature of this topic, we appreciate you talking about it with us. And selfishly, I wish you good luck 10 days from now. We'll ask you about Lance Briggs' injury and Jay Cutler another time, but thanks for spending some time with us.
Well, I predict Jay Cutler will be back in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
They say 4 to 6, but we got the right people around Jay right now. So
Brandon,
we'll
this is going to be the first time. This will be the first time ever that ESPN quotes the Andrea Mitchell Reports hour
2 weeks
for an update. It's good to visit with you, and we wish you the best of luck.
All right, thank you.